And White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders from Washington to join us about tonight's address. And Sarah, welcome back here to America's Newsroom. We've got a lot of things to go through. We'll see how much we get done, okay? Good morning.
Sounds good. Good morning, Bill. Always great to be with you.
What does the White House consider a success tonight?
Look, I think you're going to see an incredible speech by the president, a visionary speech. The theme of this year's State of the Union is choosing greatness. The president's going to lay out some of the great successes that we've had over the last 2 years and paint a picture of what we can do for this country if we come together, if we work together over the next 2 years. One of the first opportunities that members will have, Republicans and Democrats, to come together will be to vote on and support the USMCA deal, one of the biggest, most historic trade deals in the history of our country, something that really fights for the American worker. This is something that both Republicans and Democrats talk about regularly, say they support, is helping the American worker, helping our farmers, our ranchers, and the forgotten men and women of this country. This deal does exactly that, and we'll see if the members can come together and support this trade deal and really make history by coming together and getting that done.
We want to lay the table with a chance for you on that. I want to take you back to Sunday during the interview on CBS. A key line in this answer caught my ear when the president said this.
I don't take anything off the table. I don't like to take things off the table. It's that alternative. It's national emergency. It's other things. And, you know, there have been plenty national emergencies called.
So many are anticipating how far we go on border security tonight, what the president pushes for. When he said it's national emergency, it's other things. What are those other things the White House is considering?
Look, I'm not going to get ahead of the president. What I can tell you is that his position has not changed since the day he started campaigning. The president is 100% committed and focused on getting real border security, protecting American citizens. We've got to stop the cartels, the coyotes, and the human trafficking at our southern border. And the president's going to do whatever it takes to make sure he fulfills his duty to protect this country. And he's going to fight to make sure we have a border.
When you consider there could be a court battle, maybe Ninth Circuit if you got national emergency. I know several Republican senators are on record. They don't want the president to go that route. How much do you consider that possibility when you're making the case tonight?
Look, I think it's real simple. For senators that don't want to go that route, then they need to just simply do their jobs. As the president says, this could be done in 15 minutes. If people don't want to see an alternative direction, then sit down at the table, negotiate a deal that actually protects our borders, that protects citizens of this country. You're going to see some of the guests tonight, people that have been directly impacted by illegal immigration, whether it's a family that's lost someone due to an illegal immigrant coming across this border and taking the life of someone that is an American citizen. That should never happen in this country, particularly when we have the ability to prevent things like this from happening by protecting our borders, by putting up technology, by putting up a barrier. These are things that both Republicans and Democrats have always supported until the president became President Trump. Let's hope they can put aside their partisan differences, sit down at the table, do their jobs, and move forward and actually come up with real solutions like the president's going to lay out in his address tonight.
Speaker Pelosi put out a list of their demands last night, an email about 10 o'clock in the evening, and a lot of the things on their list are the same things that you have on your list, like funding for humanitarian assistance, funding more immigration judges, 1,000 new customs officers, new imaging, cutting-edge technology. This is what the White House put out about 2 weeks ago to try and end the shutdown. Look at the similarities. $800 million humanitarian assistance, $800 million drug detection, 2,700 border agents, on the list goes. But at the bottom, you have two additions. 3 years protection for Dreamers, about $6 billion in funding for that steel barrier. Call it a wall, call it whatever you want. It does not seem the two sides are very far apart. Let's see where the negotiations go. However, let's get to North Korea. Will there be an announcement tonight on the next summit, end of February?
Again, I'm not going to get ahead of the president's specific details in the speech, but I can tell you we continue to make progress with North Korea. The president's leadership has delivered a relationship that brought us the first summit between the president and Chairman Kim. They sat down in Singapore, and we saw some progress on that front. We've got our hostages back. They're no longer testing. We have seen the remains come back, and some of those remains have even had identifications, and families have been reunified with those remains.
There has been progress on that front. Should the American people expect a where and when tonight, yes or no?
Look, the president has said that the summit will take place near the end of February. That is still moving forward, and we're still very much on track for that. In terms of details, I'll leave that up to the president to announce when he's ready to do so.
On Syria, I know the president wants out of that country. Does he still, Sarah?
Sorry, what was that last question?
On Syria, does the president still want out of Syria, or the talks that had taken place over the past 2 weeks change his mind?
Absolutely. The president, and I know he said this in his CBS interview just earlier this week, the president wants to bring our troops home. The president doesn't want to be in wars just endlessly and forever with no end in sight. He has been to Walter Reed. He has met with these individuals. He's seen the sacrifice, which we will forever be in their debt for that sacrifice that these men and women make, that their families make. And the president doesn't want to continue that if we don't have to. He wants to continue to have a presence in Iraq to help with that situation. He wants to continue to absolutely annihilate the small remnants that are left of ISIS. And we're doing that as we withdraw. But the president is very much committed to bringing in the men and women in Syria back home.
Inaugural committee is being investigated. Now, you know that. Did foreigners illegally donate money 2.5 years ago for that?
Look, I was not part of that committee. What I do know is that doesn't have anything to do with the White House. I'm reading the same reports you are, and we'll get more information as we have it. We'll certainly do our best to respond to it.
There's a good story in the economy. I know you're going to tell that tonight, but it is the grandest of stages to sell your case, and we'll see how it goes together as a country. Sarah Sanders, thank you for your time from the North Lawn.
You bet. Thanks so much, Bill.
Okay.